Just now, more than half of the 8 billion people in the world were suddenly killed or injured. The reason why all this happened is because this kind of extremely aggressive alien, the creature, can sneak into the rear camp through the ground and launch a sneak attack on humans. The number of such extraterrestrial creatures is extremely large and they act as engineers in the group. However, when these millions of alien creatures appear, a special alien leader will be born among them, controlling the actions of all engineers on the battlefield. What's even more frightening is that Omega, the leader behind them, has the superpower to reset time. As long as the alien leader dies in battle, Omega will activate this ability, making them invincible in this battle. Just 5 years ago, after this group of alien creatures landed on the Earth through the impact of meteorites, they began to continuously invade various countries, causing a devastating blow to mankind. Hundreds of millions of people died in this war. Until today, humans have invented a kind of super armor, and through effective training, humans have become super warriors. And Rita is the god of war among these soldiers. She wiped out hundreds of alien creatures in one day, led mankind to launch a counterattack, and soon won the famous Battle of Verdun. This victory also gave mankind hope. They assembled all the troops on the Earth, equipped all combatants with super armor, and prepared to fight the alien creatures to the death. However, what humans do not know is that the failure of the previous Battle of Verdun was deliberately done by alien creatures, with the purpose of annihilating the remaining human beings in one fell swoop. Major Cage was the propaganda ambassador for this operation, but when he met the general for the first time, he was asked to be sent to the front to fight with the soldiers. Only then did he realize that he had become a scapegoat. Seeing something was wrong, he turned around and ran, and was knocked down by the stun gun in the next second. When he woke up again, he found that he had arrived at the boot camp. According to the commander, he realized that now he is a deserter full of nonsense who is assigned to a small team. In the early morning of the next day, everyone put on their super armor and prepared for action. Poor Cage didn't even know how to operate a mecha, so he was sent to the front line. Then Cage's fighter plane was hit. At the last moment of the explosion, Cage jumped out of the fighter plane and landed successfully. As a commoner, he has never experienced such a scene before. The beach at this time is like a slaughterhouse, sacrificing companions all the time. They should have won this action as planned, but judging from the current situation, they seem to have become victims of a sneak attack. At this moment, Rita, the god of war in the army, came out of the ruins. Watching the alien creatures that killed countless companions vulnerable to a single blow in her hands, Cage seemed to see the hope of his own survival. But in the next second, Rita, god of war, died in front of him. Looking at her dead body, Cage felt that he was completely doomed. He spotted his team among the crowd, ready to seek protection. Suddenly, a strange creature jumped out from the ground and attacked them. They are all recruits. How can they have actual combat experience in just an instant? Cage's team was completely wiped out. At this time, he finally learned to pull the trigger, and after firing all the bullets, he also killed the alien creature. Suddenly, an alien leader appeared in front of him, and Cage looked at the explosives around him. At the moment when the leader of the alien race rushed towards him, he died along with him. At the same time, the blood of the monster also flowed into his mouth. But the strange thing is that amidst a scream, Cage came back to life miraculously. Looking at the commander in front of him, he knew that what happened just now was reality instead of a dream. Afterwards, he saw his team members again, and then came to the forefront of the battlefield. According to the last memory, Cage met Rita, god of war, and saved her at a critical moment. He was pierced through his chest, thinking that she would repay his life-saving grace. Unexpectedly, Rita took off the armor on him directly, and left here without looking back. In the next second, Cage once again proved that he was resurrected. This time he desperately explained everything to the commander, told him that the action on the beach tomorrow morning was a complete suicide, and even called the names of all the team members. I wanted to prove my prediction was correct, but everyone took him for a psycho and tied him up and sent him back to the front. Seeing that his teammates didn't believe him, Cage was going to explain everything to God of War Rita, and wanted to use his influence to save everyone. Unexpectedly, he was unfortunately hit and killed by his companion's car on the road. After experiencing countless deaths and resurrections, Cage also had the perspective of God, knowing when and where all the monsters appeared, and saved Rita's life again. All aliens and creatures appeared in front of him, and he could easily kill them one by one. Looking at everything in front of her, Rita made a strange move. She put down her weapon and said to Cage, "Wake up and remember to come to me." He is a unique warrior on the battlefield, who will be resurrected every time he dies. Through this bug, he quickly changed from a rookie to an invincible warrior. In order to save his beloved woman, he did this alone. In this operation, he single-handedly wiped out all the alien creatures regardless of any companions, and finally drove the helicopter to the valley in the illusion. But the strange thing is that there is no alien leader Omega here, only the ambush of alien species. Seeing that he was caught in the trap, Cage was about to commit suicide and start over, but he was stopped. Turns out he wanted Cage to bleed out and lose his ability to reset time. In a critical moment, Cage jumped into the water and committed suicide. After the resurrection, Cage found Rita and the postdoctoral fellow and explained what he had just experienced. The postdoctorate said that he invented a converter that, as long as it is inserted into the body, it will come into contact with the omega so as to know its true position. The device is now in the hands of the general. According to the previous memory prediction, they came to the general's mansion unscathed. Immediately afterwards, he predicted everything that was about to happen, including the little secret between him and the secretary. All these details convinced the general gradually. Maybe aliens can really manipulate time. He took out the converter and asked Cage to save the world. As soon as they walked out of the gate, they were surrounded by soldiers. Seeing this, Rita took out her pistol without any hesitation, and reset the time on the way to escape. Cage put the converter on his lap. Through hallucinations this time he saw the real location of Omega, hidden in the underground of the Louvre in Paris. Just when Cage's consciousness returned to his body again, the soldiers chasing them shot him in the thigh with a gun, and then the car was smashed by the mech fighters. They passed out on the spot, and when Cage woke up, he found myself lying on a stretcher, and at the moment he was being transfused with blood. When Cage was at a loss, Rita ran over to save him, drew out a dagger and was about to send him away. In other words, this is their last chance. Cage returned to the barracks and told all the secrets. With the blessing of God of War Rita, the team was formally established. Taking advantage of the darkness, they stole a fighter plane from the military camp, and were attacked by alien creatures as soon as they arrived over the Louvre Museum. The pilot died instantly and the battleship crashed into the lake. At this moment there is not much ammunition left, and Cage is going to use the power of the fighter plane to glide towards the Louvre. In order for Cage and Rita to complete the task, the team members also started to die, detonating their own bombs after the ammunition was exhausted. Facing the swarming alien creatures, the remaining teammates also sacrificed one after another, and the teammates were helpless. Cage was like the god of war possessed, and wiped out all the alien creatures on the battleship by himself. Rita finally drove the fighter jet into the Louvre, detonated the bomb, and blocked all pursuers. At this moment, the alien species appeared again. The key now is that someone must sacrifice himself, distract him, and not kill him, otherwise the time will be reset by Omega. At this moment, Rita was ready to sacrifice herself. After expressing her love for Cage, she resolutely lured away the alien species, and Cage jumped into the lake with all the bombs. This time he finally met the leader Omega. The alien immediately kills Rita, jumps into the lake, and stabs Cage through the heart with its tentacles. At the same time, Cage also activated the switch, throwing all the bombs into Omega's body. With a loud bang, Omega was completely wiped out, and the life and death of all monsters was uncertain, and Omega's blood also flowed into Cage's mouth along the lake, and time was reset again. Only this time it's different. Now the battle is over and humanity has achieved a great victory. Cage returned to the barracks as a major, and met the members of the squad and his beloved woman. At the end of the movie, my understanding of Cage's last reincarnation is because he was exposed to the blood of an alien species before his first death. At this moment, he had replaced the dead alien species, because since then, this alien species has never appeared on the battlefield again. As for how he finally woke up on the plane, he died and took Omega's blood to replace him. So this time the time is not passively reset, but random. Because Cage does not have the powerful spiritual power of Omega, he cannot control the army of alien creatures. When he wakes up, all the alien creatures on the earth are dead.